The gas are going up. Hello and welcome back to a very exciting and special Gasputio tabletop football. Let's move my cup of tea out of the way first. Put that over there. The reason it's exciting and, the reason it's exciting for me is because I'm going to start doing something that I've been thinking about in the back of my mind for quite a while. I want to give it a go. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see how it turns out. Now, what this relates to is goals. So if you've watched any of the videos on this channel, you'll know that I use these bog standard old Subbuteo goals that you get, as far as I know, in pretty much every set. Someone that knows the history of Subbuteo better than me will be able to tell you how they came about. But I use them because, I'll be honest, I like the look of them. I have got other goals, so these type, and these ones are useful because they've got pinholes if you're of the mind that you like to pin your goals down, but also they got this sort of back plate on where you can slide it onto a pitch, or you can just weight it down, do whatever you want with it. But I don't like the look of them so much, although they are like rounded, so that's, you know, that's quite cool, whereas these ones are sort of square. You notice on the bottom of this I've also got the sort of base plate that you get from Subbuteo Asylum, and that gives them a bit more sort of solidity, a little bit more weight, so they don't fly about as much if you don't pin them in. Because these ones, when you take that base plate off, there's nothing really to hold them down. And like I said, I don't like pinning things into the cloth really, so that's personal preference. So I've been thinking about a few things about goals, because I'd quite like at some point to try a bit of an idea of mine. I don't know if it will work, where you put like little magnets in the bottom of here, and then you could put some sort of metal plate, and then, you know, that would keep them sort of solid and stop them moving about. But that's not actually what I'm talking about here. But we are talking about goals. Reason I'm talking about goals is that you may have seen you can get some very nice looking but quite expensive metal goals. Now, you know, I'm sure they're amazing, and they certainly look amazing, they sound amazing when the ball hits them, and fair play to anyone that produces them. They look great, but really for Gasputeo Stadium, and I suppose for anyone that's starting out, the sort of cost of them might be a bit sort of prohibitive. So, you know, we wouldn't, I suppose, if you're starting out, have metal goals, and I don't have any metal goals for that reason, you know. But, and this is the exciting bit, I thought, what if we could make some goals? And obviously we're chatting about metal goals, so we're making some metal goals. Do you reckon that's possible with just basic tools and whatnot? Now, obviously we've got a template there, so if you use one of these plastic ones as a template, and then we'd have to get some steel, which we then have to manipulate into shape. Now, I was in a well-known high street DIY store the other day, and I saw this. This is 4mm steel rod. Now, I'm no I'm no welder, I'm no metal worker, but I have used pieces of steel and metal to make little bits and pieces in the past, and it's always very interesting to work with, very interesting material. So I saw these, and just in case you wanted to follow along and do a similar sort of thing, these cost, I think they cost £2.60 per rod. What's that, like a metre long, so a yard long, 4mm thick, and it's just the right thickness for a goal. You know, it's almost exactly the same as that. It is exactly the same as that. So I'm thinking, if we could bend this into shape, I mean, you wouldn't want to just bend it like that, because they would, you know, distort it, but you could certainly heat it and then try and hammer it into shape. You know, there's a chance there that you could end up creating some sort of goal similar to this. Obviously you'd have to think about where the folds are, and, you know, what you're doing with that, and I'm going to have to track out a sort of route to make it out of one piece, because I haven't got any sort of welding equipment here. I suppose if you had welding equipment, you could quickly spot weld bits together and that'll make it easier. But what I'm thinking of doing is really just try and make it out of one piece. So I don't know, I'd have to track where it would go, but you know, you could think if you start up at the top and fold it down, around, across, and then back there, so that I would create the goal shape. Anyway, that's my thinking. So that is the exciting thing I want to try, and I've got the rod here now, so that's what I'm going to do. So this is going to be another little mini series, got a few of them going on now, and we'll see if we can make some metal goals, which, you know, may completely balls up this, but let's give it a go, innit? All right, so that's what I'm going to do for this little mini series. If you're tuning in to look how we're getting on with that, don't worry, there'll be a new video for the seated stand very, very soon. All right, anyway, I'm going to have a go at this. I will film it, and I think what we'll do, even if it goes completely TU, I'll still put the video up so we can see where I went wrong. All right, anyway, I'm going to have a cup of tea, maybe have a go at this, because I've got to measure out the bits and pieces first, and then, well, we'll see where we go. All right, until next time, up the gas.